Hello, hello, hello. Just kind of going over some mods. This is probably about the fifth or sixth attempt. I should do editing, but I don't. So we're gonna go over a little bit of the threading. The threading is pretty much easy. Your 3 millimeter tap, and there's also a 6/32. We pretty much cover everything. You get these taps. Here, I think it goes up to a 2.5 to a 3 to a 3.5. What the heck? Why? Jules Burnt. Okay, there's some other bits in here I did not know about. Okay, well, there's some, like I said, cool. At least that now. Before I get too much off the beaten path, hopefully I can stick with this one and get all the information within a decent amount of time. All right, trench traps, overmilling. This is a overmilling type of trench trap that some people call a trench trap because there is a trench going across. This particular one is only going flat across, but if you really want to get more of a deeper fault set, I recommend coming down at an angle, maybe like a 45, 35 degree, and at the bottom of that angle, get you a jeweler's deburring wheel and do your undercutting. Undercutting, I've got some on this one, but it's not like as good as it would be if it was like like I was mentioning earlier, instead of being, this one's got it flat across and not at an angle, but still, even it's still got a little bit of a good little ledge undercut to bite on that edge of that lip. And let me show you real quick. So yeah, it's two two separate mods. You can do three. You can even thread that. Now, with the undercutting, I did this by hand. It takes you a little time to get used to it and where you want to place it. Usually the 023 or which is a 2.3 millimeter, is your basic standard carries over between like your American Lock 1100s, your Abus, even with your locks like this that have the 3 millimeter diameter. Now I also use a 027, and when I use a 027, let's see, let me grab this right here, is the 027s, I'll come over here and I'll make my undercuts on this side and that side. And I use a 023, come right over here because there's a small area and you really don't want to try to basically cut through that little divider. I've done it on some of my challenge locks. Other people have too, so it does happen, So a 023 and a 027 is basically good enough to use. Now this right here is another type of a trench trap. This one here is what it is, basically a T-trench trap. Now you want your key pin to be smaller than, I'm going to try to see if I can get all this, give you a good little visual on this as I walk through and explain this to you. I've gotten better at these, but I haven't really got it to be exactly perfect yet. But you want your key pin, and see if we can zoom this in so you can see a little bit better. Maybe. Come on. So your key pin, you want to be right there below your cut. That right there is one of those key things. See how this right there is, key pin is down below that. That is what you want. You don't want a key pin sticking up past it. All right. And see, here is that thin spool and how it operates. Now it's going to come in, get it like you pick it to the right height to where it slips and falls into that. And there you have a deep fault set. But you got to be careful because pin gets kind of like trapped up and everything, getting away. So if it comes up above that, so if it's picked Euro, that pin is going to drop in the way of this. So it's going to break the lock temporarily, but you'll have to turn it back and basically turn the lock to where the key pins, where all the pins are up. And probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a gravity trap to make this where it can only be picked American style versus Euro style. So as you see, that's how that's kind of done. It's quite interesting. D-Mac did a great video on this, and it's something that I did borrow from Dark Arts Lockpicking. Now, how I did this is a little bit different from how I did it before when I first started doing these. Here, let me grab this. I grabbed a thin blade, matter of fact it was this, and just tried to go right there in the center of the chamber. After I got a good mark and got it good and started to, we're pretty much almost dead center, if not dead center. Then I went to the mini hacksaw. Once I went to the mini hacksaw, let's see. Mini hacksaw, then I took some 1.2 millimeter drill bit. Put one of these in my rotary tool. That's just for, I guess to show you, just pretend this is my rotary tool. That right there is the drill bit. So, come in, back and forth. And the whole time I was at least trying to make sure I had it straight. Everything was straight and in the center of that chamber as close as possible. Once I did that, took a little bit of sandpapered it down a little bit. Jeweler's to burring wheel. Now the jeweler's to burring wheel, you're going to have to modify. They usually have more of a taper, so I had to take that down. And see, but this particular one is not the one I've actually made this with. I'm trying to find, is this the one? Yeah, I think that may not be, I don't know. Yeah, this is the one. I was right the first time. All right, but anyways, so kind of went, and what I had to do is, hold on, let me show you. So used a Dremel workstation, which turns your Dremel into a drill press. Had everything all lined up. So once I had a key pin down there and made sure I brought it up a little bit above the height, and had it locked down. So basically all I had to do was cut on the rotary tool, turn this, and as well as kind of slide the oh my god, device, there we go, device over. Had to slide it to where it made it consistent. Cut around perfectly to make a default set, and it's almost a 90. I could have went more, and I just didn't want to really push my luck. I think that pretty much has that covered. Talked about the threading, undercut, and so with the undercut, it took me a while to really get good with it. I can freehand that with no problem. A lot of the other stuff, you know, it's just a I guess a learning curve, trial and error. You're gonna end up probably getting some casualties out of it, but you know, the thing is, you'll learn from them and you'll get better at it as you perfect and get the muscle memory as you know, get more and more practice with it. Now your key pins, for key pins, people don't know how to make key pins. Very simple. Just put your, like, you can use your regular driver or whatever. Mark, go ahead and put it in there and just take your file. It doesn't have to come down to a nice point like this. It can be just rounded. Either way. Now, I'm just going to show you this magnet right here. This magnet right here. You see how that is? I have used that as a key pin without putting a tip on it, and it worked perfectly. I just had to cut it to what I wanted the key to be. So basically it was just let me find a quick set key, a quick set, but a schleg. All right, go right here with this. Boom. Take a Sharpie, mark all the way around it, cut just a little bit above where it's the shear line, because basically it's, when you mark it, you want to cut a little bit above the shear line, because this will actually shatter with the heat, and it just takes it a while to actually file it down with a file inside your rotary tool, but it does work quite well. It just takes a little time, a little patience, and you can actually make some interesting magnetic key pins with these, as well as drivers, and have them do all kind of little tricky stuff inside of challenge locks. But I think that pretty much is about it. Like I said, I've made about 7-8 attempts on this video. The 6/32, the 3mm, because as far as the taps go, that's something I wanted to talk about too. The 3mm, your 1100s and clones similar, they got the little holes right here. But if you wanted to actually thread the Bible, you would have to use the 3mm. Now you're going to damage the little I guess these little places right here in between where the key pins fall out and you place in. But it's all right, because all you have to do is just kind of where they're cut or whatever. If they break, just kind of file them down, and yeah, pretty much. I guess you could pretty much remove those if you had to, so you could thread inside the Bible chambers of the 1100. It'd be the same thing as if you just turned it like picked it and 180 degrees, boom, your key pins drop out, either way. But if you did I guess tear the little hole dividers for the chambers on the bottom of the kick, it really is not going to make a difference. You can still make it work. I've seen people make it work, no problem. I've made it work. So if you could find a 2.7mm diameter tap, that would probably be about the best, because your 2.5 is not going to really do anything inside the chambers. I've had a 2.5, even though the pin sizes are 2.45mm, but you can also use a 2.35 rod, which is basically in American standards, the imperial standard, which is 3/32 rod. That's what people usually use to make their pins with. But you can use the 2.5 and just take a little bit off the outside diameter, which that's usually what I try to do. If I got what I need to give it, more of a tighter fitting pin, tighter tolerances versus all the extra slop and everything moving around. Hopefully this gave some information and understanding to new challenge lock makers. If you find it, hopefully this does help. If not, then well, shit happens. Anyways, love you all. My best to you all, wherever you're at in the world. Y'all take care. don't have too much fun.